Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. It is your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Please reach out to me directly for pricing. I am tmosso@thewatchbox.com. Quick review of recent history. The modern-day Blancpain 50 Fathoms Bathyscaphe bowed at Basel World in 2013. In 2018, we got the Bathyscaphe Quantième Complet, the complete calendar. For 2022, we got it in titanium, and that's what you see right here. 43 millimeters in diameter. It's 13.4 millimeters thick from lug tip to lug tip, just the case, 49.9 millimeters. If we include the end links of this Series 98 bracelet, the total distance across the wrist is 52.6 millimeters, and we have a 23 millimeter spacing between the lugs. I've worn this watch full bracelet in steel, and it's massive. This is a lot more manageable, even though physically it's exactly the same size. It's low enough that it will fit underneath most cuffs, maybe not the tightest of dress sleeves, but jackets will be fine. And you can see that the lugs push out to the edge of my wrist, but not beyond. So on the bracelet, I could recommend this watch for a wrist of my size or larger. So 16 centimeters circumference or larger, it's going to look and fit great. It is very light and hypoallergenic thanks to the titanium. Blancpain uses what it calls grade 23 titanium, which is a type of 6.4, which is harder than the other type, which is 3.2. 3.2 is basically the grade 2 stuff that you're familiar with. 6.4 is very close to grade 5, but traditionally 6.4 grade 5 and 6.4 are a little bit different. This is a little bit softer than a conventional 6.4 grade 5. It's perhaps less likely to fracture or chip, and that's why Blancpain uses the high grade 23 with just a little bit more elasticity and give than the super hard grade 5 stuff. Taking a quick look, you can see that this is very different from the bracelet that originally debuted on the Quantième Complet. This is a lot more like the X71 in design, with countersunk links and then channels down the center to vent the wrist. You can see that there is a conforming end link, and then it tapers very slightly as we move down toward the clasp. Everything is satin finished to reduce glare. And if you look on the underside, you'll appreciate that every single link is removable for fine-tuning the fit. So this is something that's really well considered with very little lateral play due to the tolerances between the links there. You can see the daylight through the bracelet itself, and that's there to vent the wrist on a hot day as well as to avoid pinching skin or pulling hair. The clasp is a non-sequential close, double deployance. You can close either side first. You can see the logo, the name, twin trigger release. You have to press them both to pop this open. Confirming, internally you see titanium. This is a titanium clasp with a combination of media blast and satin finish on its surfaces. Rolling around the case, the Bathyscaphe in the modern era has been the more vintage-inspired 50 Fathoms. So compared to something like the 5015, the 5000 Bathyscaphe, and this reference 5054, they have squared off lug ends, minimal beveling, a very sheer case, a giant big crown but without crown guards. That's what you're getting here, and it's all satin, so it disguises its weight well when it's on, or I should say its size well, because it's not heavy when it's on the wrist, but it is large. It doesn't look ungainly or garish because everything's matted out. Little adjusters for the calendars. A wonderfully chatty, light action 120 click bezel. The knurling is nice and sharp, easy to grip, even if your hands are wet, sweaty, or gloved. Ceramic insert, you can see it's been satinated, but it has the co-molding of the metal and the ceramic. And this sort of liquid metal technology ensures that the metal, the indices, the numerals, they'll never separate from the ceramic. The ceramic is very scratch resistant. We'll do a lume shot here. Well, this is perhaps a more ornate and posh take on the dive watch. Make no mistake, it's still a dive watch. Luminescent bezel pearl, all three hands loomed, which means you can see the second hand in the dark. You know your watch is running even in the depths. It's easy to line up that hybrid baton syringe hand with the bezel pearl. Now you have a 0 to 60-minute count-up timer, very handy and frankly easier to read than a chronograph. Quantième Complet, complete calendar. We have a radial date with a lunette indicator. We have a moon phase, and then we have the day and the month, and you can see that the discs match the ardoise or anthracite metallic sunburst color of the dial with applied indices. You can see that we have button-style indices with the exception of baton at the four corners, as we call it in watchmaking. Rolling this all over, On the reverse side, we have a nicely decorated movement with a triple finished rotor. You can see media blast satin and then on the edge a mirrored bevel. The beveling really is quite good on this caliber. You can see it's rounded, it's mirrored. It's a good combination of mechanical and manual finish in tandem. A good judicious blend of the two that's definitely price appropriate and image appropriate for a high-end brand like Blancpain. You can also see this is the caliber 6654P movement, automatic winding, 72-hour power reserve, 4 Hertz beat rate. It does not have hacking, that's the one feature it lacks, but it does have 6-position adjustment, which is exhaustive and one more than a standard chronometer. It all pivots on 28 joules, it's free sprung, it has an anti-magnetic silicone hairspring, and again, all this water resistant down to 300 meters. You can see engine turning on the base plate, satin finish on the regulator. We have snailing across the bridges, black polished screw heads, satination on the wheels, a genuinely good-looking movement that nicely fills the case back. And of course, you can see it has a recessed bolt aerodynamic balance to diminish the small but still measurable influence of aerodynamic drag on the operation of the watch. That's what's going on here. Of course, the 50 Fathoms debuted in the 1950s as Blancpain's first dive watch and one of the first dive watches ever made. There are many versions, meaning like the Jaeger LeCoultre Reverso, there's arguably no definitive core 50 Fathoms. You buy the version you like best and you enjoy being part of that legendary line. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.